What's up, guys? Welcome back to Build Cool Shit again. Today, it's back to work on our dirt bike to street legal adventure bike build. And in this episode, it's time to start taking care of the wiring on this thing. I've been holding out on it, hoping it would just do itself, but it's just not getting done. So now we're gonna have to get in there and take care of it. But before we can do that, we need to get the handlebars on this thing and start laying out the hand controls. That way we know where everything's going to be. Then we'll get the coil and everything all mounted to the frame, figure out where everything's going to lie, and then we need to strip off all the coating all over the wiring harness and that, because there's a bunch of stuff we don't need. So that way we can clean it up a little bit. But before we get started, let's go ahead and smash that like and subscribe button so we can keep on building cool shit. We're getting really close to getting this thing taken care of, and you're going to want to make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on our next build. It's real exciting and we're almost there. I've been really busy, so I know my posting schedule has been all messed up. I'm trying to get back on track. Some weeks you may get an episode, some weeks you may not. I'm so busy and it's hard to take care of everything. I just don't have the time to do it all. So I'm trying really hard, guys. I wish this could become my full-time job, but right now it doesn't pay the bills. Other things have to pay the bills. So this is just costing me money at this point. But I enjoy it, so we'll keep on doing it. I just don't know how often I can post. So with all that being said, you guys, let's get started. Alright guys, so now we got the handlebars mounted up here, left grips on, clutch levers on and hooked up. It's really tough to pull, but it does work. So now we'll have to go through and get our switches for our left side all mounted on here, because we know this is going to go right here. So we'll get that puppy on there, and then we'll start laying out the rest of the wiring harness, and I'll show you guys what the plan is here, what we're going to do about that. Most of it's going to mount down in here right underneath the gas tank, so it should be pretty straightforward. So with all that being said, let's keep going. Alright guys, so I've got the wiring harness all laid out right here. I'm not 100% sure where everything's supposed to go It's been a while since we messed with this. It's not really fresh in my brain. So I'm kind of making this up as I go. But I'm 99% sure that these wires here connect to the motor. This will get mounted underneath the gas tank. This guy's going to go underneath the gas tank. So will the coil. I want to try to remove this starter relay because we're not going to use the electric start. Which means I think my best bet is to go through, get all the stuff that I know is getting mounted to the frame mounted, and then we can kind of lay out this, get these wires hooked up because I'm 99% sure that these are the wires to the motor, and then we can start stripping off all this housing around the wires. It looks cheap, and I need to cut it off so that way I can eliminate some of these wires because we're definitely not going to have a battery on there since I don't care about the electric start. Hopefully that doesn't mean I'm going to lose lights, but we just kind of got to test it and see. So we'll get this housing off here once we get everything mounted up, and then we'll work on getting the motor connected back up, and then we may call it a wrap for this episode. And then in the next one, we'll go ahead and try to fire this motor again and see if we can get her back up and running before we eliminate stuff here, because I just want to be able to double check. And I know the headlight should be up there. I'm guessing the tail light will be back here. Like I said, I'm not 100% sure. So I'm trying to go through. I read your guys' comments. I see that you guys are saying you want me to explain what I'm doing a little bit more. So I'm trying to do that. It's going to take some time. Just bear with me. So we'll go ahead, get this stuff mounted up here, and then see where we wind up. So with all that being said, you guys, let's get started. Alright guys, so I've gone ahead and let's see if we can get you in here. We got the coil and everything all mounted up. This guy's just gonna go, let's see, right here. I'm just gonna zip tie that on. I figured utilize this little, let's see if we can get you guys to see it. It's got little slots here so you can stick stuff through it. I feel like a zip tie will be fine holding that on there. So we got the motor all connected as well. I still need to go through and wrap all these guys in electrical tape before we do anything there. And then I got the little switch you do on the handlebars all connected here. So I'm pretty sure these would be my headlight and front turn signals. I'm gonna guess this guy is my rear, which will go into these wires over here. I'll probably just go through and solder those all in and cut this plug out of here. But our next step's going to be to go ahead and start peeling the housing off these wires. That way we can see what's going on. And then from there, we'll probably call it a wrap. So that way, next episode, we can go ahead, get this thing fired up, and then we can test the wires and see if we got power coming out of these for the lights and back here for the tail lights and such. Because if the lights don't want to work, we may have to go ahead and utilize these guys here and run a battery somewhere. I have no idea. I did not think about a battery. I don't have room for a battery, but if it comes to that, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So I'm going to go ahead, get you guys set back up, and then we'll go ahead, get that stuff all stripped off the wires and kind of see what's going on here, and then we'll call it a wrap on this episode. So with all that being said, let's get started. Guys, so we've got everything mounted up for the electronics, and we have the wiring harness laid out and the housing stripped off of it. So I'm going to go ahead, call it a wrap on this episode. In the next episode, we're going to go ahead, see if this puppy runs again, and then from there we can start to test the wires, see if we have positive going to our lights or not. All we can do is kind of keep our fingers crossed and hope that it'll all work out and that we don't have to figure out how we're going to go ahead and put a battery in this thing. I really want to keep it kickstart. I can still kickstart it if it has a battery, but I like the simplicity of just not even having one. I don't need it. I like things to be really basic and simple. That way if things go wrong, you don't have a bunch of complicated stuff to deal with. I don't care for all the fancy stuff, so to me, simple is way better. So we're going to go ahead, call it a wrap on this episode, and then we'll go ahead and do the whole test fire and figure out wiring in the next one. But before we get out of here, let's go ahead and smash that like and subscribe button so we can keep on building. I can't thank you guys enough. It's really cool to watch this channel grow. I know, like I said earlier, my posting has been all over the map lately. Been dealing with a lot of stuff, and I'm just super busy. I've got a crazy commute to get to work. It's just tough right now. But there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and to watch this grow and actually become something, it gives me something to, when I wake up in the morning, I'm checking, seeing where my subscribers are. It's just really cool. It gives me something to look forward to every morning. So please smash that button. It really does help. But that's going to be a wrap, you guys. I'll catch you guys on the next episode. Peace!